Hey everyone, how are you? I hope that you all are doing well today. Happy Wednesday to you. We were to come today and have Pastor Bonface come and share his reflections and share a little bit about himself. However, we're still having some issues with the network that he's on there. So, what we're going to do is just have him create a video that I can upload and play in the near future. But since I have the time, so I'm not going to waste it, I'll still come live anyhow and talk to you all about the benefits of doing short term mission trips. As you all know, we are now preparing, as we close out this trip that we've just completed to Kenya. And, behind the scenes, we're doing our debriefing and all of that kind of stuff. Um, we are also in the process of opening up the next trip, which is to Botswana in 2024. We're super excited about the upcoming trip to Botswana in 2024 and hope that we're going to be posting a link shortly, and we hope that you will join the list to at least get the information about the trip. You don't have to decide right now if you're going to be a part of it, but you can decide and say, yep, I'm going to be on the next one. But you can put your name on the list to get the information when it comes out, or be the first to get the information when it comes out, right? So I'm going to drop that link in the comments. And because I can't do two things at once, you'll hear a pause. So anyway, again, if you're just joining us, we had hoped to have Pastor Bonface on, but he's going to do a video. And then in the near future, I'll play that video because we're still having network issues. But today, what I want to talk to you all about is, since I have this time, right? Why not use it? I want to talk to you all about the benefits of short-term missions trips, because that's what MM4H Missions specializes in. We specialize in short-term mission trips. What does that mean? We go for, a week to a couple of weeks. I'm always there a couple of weeks, but the missionaries in the past have been able to choose between 7 days or 12 days. We think that is going to remain that way for this next trip. And what's the benefit of doing that? So as I come and discuss the benefits of a short-term mission trip, please in the comments let me know who you are, where you're watching from. Hopefully I'll be able to see your comments on StreamYard. And I'm actually I can't pull up all the pages on Facebook, but I can. So I'm going to pull up my personal page. Just in case anyone is watching there, I can check in there. If not, I don't know. I'll come back and acknowledge you if I don't see your comments show up here in StreamYard. Okay, so let's get to these benefits. I want to share about 9 or 10 of them with you. I won't be here very long. But as I mentioned, we specialize in short-term mission trips. And if you're tuning in, you're going to hear me say this several times throughout the broadcast, because initially we're supposed to have Pastor Bonface on, but we're having network issues on his end. So he's going to do a video. I'll upload it in the near future. So now what I'm going to do is benefits of short-term mission trips. Okay, benefits of short-term mission trips. So one of the benefits of short-term mission trips, and these aren't in any particular order. Hey, Linda, good to see you. One of the benefits is being able to share resources, right? So short-term mission trips provide, much needed resources to the particular community or communities that they are going to serve. So if you have been following our posts, we were able to provide school supplies for a school of 750 students. We were able to provide Crocs and socks. We had 450 pair of Crocs. We had 450 pair of socks And that you might think in our society, we may not think that that's a big deal. But there are so many children, even in this day, who are going to school barefoot, right? And because, it's muddy, the dirt roads and all those kinds of things, they can get cuts and things on their feet, which then allow them to be susceptible to different types of diseases and things like that. So we did that. We helped a church put in the infrastructure for their water project. We helped a mission station to do flooring and roofing for their mission station that was being built. We passed out sanitary napkins because, again, while here in the United States, it's kind of taken for granted. In countries like Kenya, there is a luxury tax on sanitary napkins. So not only is there regular tax, but then there is a luxury tax on top of it. And so it makes it unaffordable. That's something that we don't even think about here. So that's one of the benefits of doing, we did a couple other things as well, but that is one of the benefits of participating in short-term missions, is because we can share resources. And we were able to do that because the missionaries themselves gave, and friends and family and coworkers and strangers, whomever we could reach, did give, right? So it says, so thrilled to be a part of the Botswana 2024 mission. Yes, indeed. We are so absolutely excited about that. I'll say a little bit more about that at the end. All right. So another benefit of short-term mission trips is that it encourages giving. Now, for those of you, if you're new to me, you may not know that in my day-to-day, I am a financial coach and strategist, licensed financial coach and strategist. And I teach people how to create wealth God's way. And one of the most important components in creating wealth is giving. Okay. And it's not that if you give so much money, you're going to get so much money back. No, but naturally, there is a natural law that when you give, right, you're going to receive. Now, it can come in a variety of ways of resources, but wealth is not just about money. It's about the resources that you have as well. And so short-term mission trips encourages giving. It encourages giving for those that are participating. It encourages giving for those who are may not be traveling with us, but they are giving, right? And they are becoming a part of something bigger than themselves, bigger than all of us, right? Through giving. So when trip participants and donors alike sacrifice of their time, sacrifice of their resources, it's an amazing thing, right? And God honors that sacrifice. And many times when the trip participants actually get to the location, we had our projects that we were, designed to do. But sometimes we also find other opportunities to give, even while we're there, things that may not have been planned, right? So short-term mission trips encourage giving. All right. Another benefit of short-term mission trips is that you can develop long-term relationships. This is one of probably the most exciting ones for me. All of them are exciting. It's hard to try to rank them all, but I'm a person who loves what they call it, relationship, because relationships are currency, right? And I say that to mean that, relationships will take you a long way. You might think money will take you a long way. You might think, some other resource takes you a long way, but there is nothing like developing long-standing good relationships that take you a long, long way. And so participants develop relationships with one another because oftentimes, at least in our case, the participants that come together, most of them don't really know each other, right? They might have another person that they've encouraged to come and join the trip with them. But largely and overall, they may not know each other. So there is that getting to know the other trip participants, and now they become part of your, your ecosystem. And then there's also the relationships that you build while you are participating in the mission itself. So it is amazing to see the relationships that have developed because of us going over to serve, right? There are so many of our trip participants who, now have their own relationships with Hope and Destiny and are going to be partnering with them to do some things, or they met some other people while they were there and made some really good connections. And so you just never know what comes out of these things down the line, right? All right. So another benefit of short-term mission trips is growing spiritually. Growing spiritually. So MM4H missions, the large majority of people who are on our mission trips are people who are like, this is their first time doing a mission trip. It may also be their first time overseas. And these are also largely in part people who haven't really matured spiritually. I'm not saying that of everybody. I'm saying that of some people, and it's not a bad thing, right? So when I say that they haven't really matured spiritually, I'm not saying that they are immature and just way out there and all that. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm just talking about. And listen, you could be going to church for 50 years and still not be spiritually mature. Okay, I want to put that out there. All right, so I'm talking about people who just have not walked in the fullness of who God has called them to be. And so being part of an MM4H short-term mission trip, you are going to grow spiritually. And I really don't care where you are in your walk. You can actually be, mature in your eyes, in your walk, right? And I might say, okay, I'm somewhat mature. I'm not going to say I'm the maturest, right? But even I grow as a leader, right? And we should all be growing, because there shouldn't be any one of us who has arrived spiritually, right? As long as we are living and breathing, we have room for spiritual growth. So anyway, if spiritual growth is something that you are looking for, and again, I don't care if you've been in church for 2 minutes, I don't care if you've been in church for 200 years, right? We can all use some growth spiritually. So a organized and intentional mission trip can do that for you. All right. Another benefit of mission trips, short-term mission trips, is it helps you to gain a global perspective. So remember what I said with MM4H, the majority of our participants are people typically who have not traveled overseas before. And we very intentionally, market to people who have not traveled overseas before, or who have not done mission trips before. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't have people on the team who haven't done these things before. I'm just saying we market to those people. Why? Because we can really, really help them grow, and they can have impact, but they can also be impacted, right? And one of the things that you can walk away with is gaining a global perspective. When we don't travel, overseas, all we know is what we know. There are so many people who've never even traveled out of their state. There are so many people who've never even traveled out of their city, believe it or not. As crazy as that sounds, that's the case. There are many people who have not even traveled out of their city. And this may just blow your mind, but there are many people who haven't even traveled like out of their neighborhoods per se. So this helps the participants to gain a global perspective, right? We're not only just thinking about what goes on in the US or in our state or in our city or just right around our block, but we get to see the world. Okay, we get to see the world, and we get to process that, in a different way. you get to, expand your understanding of the kingdom at large, right? Because for most of us, the kingdom is, our church or our network of churches or, whatever. And so you get to have that view expanded. And so this really helps you to, just understand things on a global perspective and needs on a global perspective and the kingdom on a global perspective, right? It also helps you to develop your burden for people. One of the things about being a kingdom citizen is that we are supposed to have a burden for other people. That's why we're here. We are interdependent and we are to have a burden for people. And this will definitely help you to do that. It will help you to develop a love for people, help you to develop a burden for people. Not just, you think it's just most people think, oh, okay, it's for the people that we're going to serve, but again, also for the people that you are serving with, right? So that's one. I can say a whole lot, but I'm trying not to be here too long. I've got a couple more to share with you. Benefits of doing short-term mission trips. If you're just joining, I want to just continue to say, yes, we were supposed to be here with Pastor Bonface today, but network issues on that end has prevented that. So he's going to do a video. I'll upload that in the near future. But right now, I'm just going over some benefits of participating in a short-term mission trip. So this is, I believe, number 7. I wasn't really numbering them, but if you're counting, I think this is number 7. So the next benefit that I want to share with you is that a short-term mission trip can actually clarify your call. Now, normally when we start training, because we do provide training for our missionaries, because remember what I said, that they're typically new to missionary work and they're typically new to going training overseas. And so training is very necessary. I think it's necessary for people who've done it several times, right? Because just because you've done it several times doesn't mean that you can't learn to do it in a better way. So let me I get to talk about training as a whole, I'll be on a whole different thing. Let me get back to the mission trips. Short-term mission trips can help you to clarify your call. Okay. There are so many people who have gone on mission trips with us who come back and say, now I'm very clear on what it is that God will have me to do. And a short-term mission trip can do that. It could be just that interruption you need, just that jolt you need for God to spend time with you and to speak to you about what it is that he would have you to do. And it could be, right? It could be that you get bit by the mission bug, as Elder Joan would say, and God shows you that that's what you're supposed to be doing. But it doesn't have to be, right? And the majority of the people who have come on the mission trips are not people who decide, oh, I'm going to do this all the time. We have a few who do. But a lot of people find their way, and that way is not necessarily missions, but the mission trip. Okay. The ability to be in a place and be in the presence of God for 7 to 14 days has allowed them to get some clarity, or to get clarity on what they should be doing and where they should be going next, right? Short-term mission trips also ignite a passion. Most people come back and they come back fired up, okay? They come back fired up about, getting back to, work. And when I say work, I don't necessarily mean a 9 to 5. It could be that, it could be ministry, it could be whatever they define as work, but they're excited about getting back to it, but not just getting back to it, but getting back to it in a new and different way. And so that's what a short-term mission trip will do. It will just ignite this passion in you. It will light a fire in you to come back and to do things differently, because you get to experience the best of a culture and the worst of a culture. And then you get to come back and say, you know what, I want to adopt the best of, his culture and continue to move in that vein, right? So it will ignite a passion. There's impact to the community. Okay. So not only do you impact the community where you serve, but because you come back a changed person, okay, because there's no way that you go on a mission trip and if you truly are open to the move of God, there is no way that you come back the same person. So not only do you impact the community where you go, but you also impact your community when you return, your family, your neighborhood, where you work, people you serve, all of that, because you come back a different person, a better person, full of new ideas, rejuvenated, re-energized, whatever you want to call it, more clear, then you impact the people around you as well. And then finally, the benefits of a short-term mission is we get to share the gospel. And we get to do that in a variety of different ways. Now, with MM4H, we get to do that through the community work, because if you follow Christ's ministry, you saw him he had a very specific way that he did it. And what he did was, number one, he mingled with the people. He got to know the people. He would even mingle with people that most people would say, oh, you don't want to, be associated with these kind of people, right? He would mingle with the people. He would get to know them, right? Get to know and understand their needs. And then he would meet their needs, right? And then once he met their needs, then he would beg them to come and to follow him, right? Because sometimes, people have needs and all they can see is the need and what they don't have and all of that. And so to try and just, come at them directly with the Bible all the time may not always be the best approach. Sometimes we have to show that love of God first in a variety of different ways, through meeting needs, right? And then that will open that person up to listen to you and what you have to say about this Yeshua that we serve, right? And so that if there had to be the best of the best of the best of all of these benefits, that would be it. Having the opportunity to share the gospel. So through the community work, and then just by sharing, I tell the missionaries all the time, you may not be the preacher, the teacher, the evangelist, the worship leader, the whomever, but everybody is called to share their testimony, because that's all that's required. We are to share our testimonies. We overcome by the word of our testimony, right? We overcome by his blood. We overcome by the word of our testimony, and our testimony will help others to overcome as well. There were so many testimonies that were shared by our missionaries publicly that people were like, oh my gosh, they're just like me. They can relate. We have the same issue, whether it was issues with children or issues with finances or issues with past sin or current sin or whatever the case may be. Because we were able to share our testimonies, the people were like, these people can relate, and they really may have some things that can help us, some answers to help us make it through as well. So I would say, like, sharing the gospel is like the best of all of these benefits that I just named, right? So I think I went through about 10 of them, but 9 or 10 of them. But if any of these resonated with you, if even one of these things resonated with you, I'm going to encourage you to join our email list so that you can get information about our trip to Botswana in 2024. That information is going to be coming out within the next week or two, where we are just kind of finalizing some things. I've got the team in Botswana that are, on the move, and they are tomorrow. They will be back in the area where we are going to be serving, and they're going to, just kind of do some final checks on some things, and then we can present the information What I do know and what I can tell you is that I'm excited that we are going to, our main project for the trip to Botswana is we are going to be putting up an orphanage. Okay. Now, my desire is, I don't know if this is how it's going to work out or not. Certainly, we're going to provide the funding, but my desire is if we can work it out to where while we're there, we can actually help in the construction of it. That is going to be amazing. That's going to be amazing. So will y'all be in prayer with me? As long as you pray to Yeshua, will y'all be in prayer with me that that's going to be the case? Because I think that would be the most amazing thing ever. And of course, there are going to be some other things that we will do in the community, but that is going to be the main project. So I'm super excited about the trip to Botswana in 2024. The link is in the comments so that you can join the list, so that you can make sure you get the information. And like I said earlier, you may not, be sure right now if you want to go or not. That's okay. You're just joining a list to get the information. Okay, that's all that is. And then once we're ready, we are going to have, which is going to be this month, we're going to have an interest meeting. You will come to the interest meeting so you can get the information. And then at that time, we're going to present what we have, and then you can make a decision about whether or not you want to be part of this, or whether or not God is calling you and God is telling you, that's a better term, that God is telling you to be a part of this. Now, we have some people who already know, right? They like, we don't even care what the information is. We already know we're going to be there. And we're grateful for you all. And then we've got others, who, it's going to take a little bit more, they need to see some information, see some things. And that's all well and good, because we want you to know that if you decide to come along with us, you're meant to be there, that you're meant to be there. Every year, the team that God gives us is perfect for that particular mission for that year. And so for Botswana 2024, it'll be no different, right? So click the link in the comments, get your name on the email list so that you are the first to get the information when it comes out. That should be coming out in the next week and a half. And then you'll also be the first to know when the interest meeting is. Okay. It's just getting information. That's all it is. All right. And that's it. That's all that we have for you all today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll let you get back to your Wednesday. God bless you. We'll see you next time. Bye.